often hear the phrase, leaders are readers, and people talk about the many books they read. I have a confession to make. My reading goals are very modest.
Right.
I always set out to read 2 books a year. And over the last 3-4 years, I've been consistent of doing at least 2 books a year. As an author and a person who wants people to keep reading, I'd like to hear your thoughts on reading and reading goals people set for themselves, and how to think about reading as part of our learning and development.
Okay. Reading, if we're talking about reading books, then yes, I can understand what you're saying. You've got 2 books a year. I've also heard that CEOs read on average 60 books a year. Now that's more than a book and a bit in a week. I don't know how they're able to do that. Whether they're using audiobooks, but I struggle to understand how somebody could read 60 books in a year. I am not a fast reader. So to answer your question, I have come to a place where my understanding is I'm not doing formal reading. During the year, I may read 6 books, but there are 3 books in my life that I have been reading for the longest time ever. Number 1 is the Bible. I keep reading it over and over and over because the more I read it, the more I discover things. The other book is by Jack Canfield, The Principles of Success. He has 100 Principles of Success. Canfield is the author with, he has a co-author, they did Chicken Soup for the Soul. Great distant mentor for me. So I read that book. And then the 3rd book is any of the titles that I want to read. So I read on leadership. So I go to Canfield's book as a reference point. I've read it, but I go back to it to read it again. So it is not the volume of what you're reading, it is the quality of the content of what you're reading. So you're reading 2 books, but yet your knowledge is expanding. 2 books, but you read articles, you read things online. And majority of us think, well, we're not reading because it's not a book. You read an article, you read a newspaper, you read a magazine, that's still content you're taking in. Now, we go past the stage where we're thinking of our vocabulary. You're thinking more of concepts, models. How can I apply this? So based on the work that you do, I encourage you, read more about the area you're in, and every so often, do something that is totally out of your comfort zone. All of this gives you ideas. You see, because authors have concepts and they come up with the concept. So you read the book, and as you read the book, there may be one purpose or one focus of the book, and that helps you to understand somebody else's perspective. And as we walk in life, it's amazing that reading is you listening to somebody else. It helps you to shape what you're doing so that you can serve humanity better. So yes, I say read as much as you can, but don't focus on the number. Focus on the information you're soaking in, because that is what shapes you. That is what brings the change. And if you're going to do something big, it's the simple things that causes the big changes.
It's not about the quantity,
No.
it's about the quality
The quality of books.
of what you read.
Yeah.
Good point.